Begin afresh every morning. Devotional thoughts for women.
Good morning, my beloved friends. Today, October 11th, 2023, our devotional is entitled A Silent Prayer. The scripture reading is taken from Luke chapter 7, verse 16. Then fear came upon all, and they glorified God, saying, A great prophet has risen up among us, and God has visited his people. Nain was located near a cemetery. When Jesus entered the city, he saw a casket in the distance. It was the funeral of a widow's only son. He found himself face to face with death, and he triumphed over it. The death of a widow's only son was a great tragedy. Women were not allowed to make any transactions except through their father, husband, or son. That woman's future was grim. She would lose all her possessions and be reduced to begging. Moved by the tragedy, the townspeople accompanied her to the cemetery. Their compassion stirred the same emotion in the giver of life. It is possible that Jesus resurrected many people, but there are only 3 instances recorded in the Gospels: that of a little girl, that of a young man, and that of an adult, representing both genders and 3 different stages in life. The girl had just died. The widow's son was on his way to the cemetery, and Lazarus had already been dead for several days. It doesn't matter how long you have been spiritually dead, God has the power to raise you up. The widow did not pray. She did not seek Jesus out. She didn't even know he was nearby. Jesus saw her, went to her, felt compassion for her sorrow, and spoke to the young man who had died. Jesus had gone to Nain exclusively to resurrect that woman's only son. Jesus continues to answer silent prayers. He sees your tears, and he does miracles. We are worried about what we have lost, whether it is a job, our health, our reputation, or our peace. Jesus was the only one who could stop the tears of the widow. That is why he said to her, "Do not weep." Luke chapter 7, verse 13. First, he comforted her, and then he performed the miracle. To the son he said, "Arise," and he handed him to his tearful mother. This act left the multitude amazed. Then fear came upon all, and they glorified God. Every encounter with divinity produces a fear that leads to praise. He who stood beside the sorrowing mother at the gate of Nain watches with every morning one beside the bier. He is touched with sympathy for our grief. His heart that loved and pitied is a heart of unchangeable tenderness. His word that called the dead to life is no less efficacious now than when spoken to the young man of Nain. He says, "All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth." Matthew chapter 28, verse 18. That power is not diminished by the lapse of years, nor exhausted by the ceaseless activity of his overflowing grace.